Welcome to the Destination Better Life podcast, where we talk all things Florida living. Nancy and I made the decision to move to Florida in early 2023, and our kids decided to move with us as well. A year later, after much planning, repairs, and renovations, we made our move to Northeast Florida, more specifically to St. Augustine. We are licensed realtors, and over the last year, we have learned a lot about living and working here in Florida. And on this podcast, we'll be sharing that journey with you. We have a lot to go over, so glad you're with us.
So let's talk about our top 5 reasons that we love living in Florida. So Ken, what do you have for your first one?
It was hard coming up with not just 5, because I think I would have had like 10 or 20. But my number one was I found it was less expensive to live here.
Really?
Yeah. There's no state income tax here and no local municipal tax or anything like that. That's better for your tax return. Electricity was cheaper, 31% lower in electrical expenses. We have no heating expenses, so that's really great. Up north, every month and a half we were filling the oil tank, or after we went to propane, we were filling that propane tank. And that always gave me a lot of nervousness because we were always pumping a lot of money every winter into that. Car insurance turned out to be 40% less. That was kind of shocking.
I think that would be shocking to anybody to hear.
Yeah, because I thought, oh boy, there's a lot of lawsuits and people driving in Florida. I just thought it was going to be more expensive. Well, it was 40% less, and gas was cheaper. So I think that was like 25 cents less than what we were paying in Pennsylvania. And then, of course, just to add to it, we ended up buying an electrical vehicle. And then that made it even less expensive, but I guess not associated. But there are a ton of electrical vehicles down here in Florida. And I will say, it makes me feel better each month when I see our budget is much better.
I think it might even be more surprising because it sort of feels like we're living on vacation in this environment, and you always expect that to cost more.
Yeah.
So the fact that it costs less may feel more surprising to us.
Well, I think the funny thing, and this may be off of my less expensive category, we didn't go on a vacation this past year.
And we didn't notice.
So I think it's because in every day or in every weekend, we are in Florida, right? We're close to the beach. We're close to the St. Johns River. Everything is here. And we have a lot of fun. So
it feels like you're on vacation.
Yeah.
In between everything you're doing.
Yeah. And not to mention that, 2 hours away is Disney. And so we kind of get in there and drive down a couple times.
Maybe more than we should.
So we have fun there. So we always are kind of on a vacation. So what is your top one?
Okay, so my first one is all about a feeling. So I want to share this. It's really important at the risk of sounding a little hokey.
Okay.
So there was something special I remembered about the way I grew up. I was born in Long Island, and all of the families that I was around, all of the parents had moved us kids out to Long Island for a better life, from the city to Long Island. And as a result of that, there was so much excitement in the air. You could just feel, everybody felt like we were all here for the same reason, for a better life. And it just made us all feel like anything was possible. And I've tried to explain that to people a lot, but I don't know if you didn't experience it, if you would know it. So surprisingly, when we got down here, I found that the people around us were not exactly what I expected would be the situation. People were from all over the place, every state, lots of from the north, Wisconsin, Minnesota,
Buffalo,
Pennsylvania, Maine,
we got Texas,
upstate New York, and everybody here also has made that move for some reason for a better life.
Yeah.
Now, that better life might be retirement for some people. Surprisingly, much less of a retirement demographic than I expected, but a number.
A lot of young people.
A lot of people with kids. So better school districts, definitely better weather people are looking for.
Yeah.
Maybe they did the math like you did, and the math was better. More availability of housing, whatever that was. You can feel it in the air when you're talking to people, and there's There's this word that I've recently learned, this phrase. It's called collective effervescence, and I feel that from other people. Everybody has this feeling. I know you've got that look on your face, but everybody's got this feeling.
I thought effervescence had something to do with a soda that they were selling in the 80s.
No, it sounds like that. But like, like if you're in the football stadium and they make the touchdown and all the people on your team have something in common, you all feel like, wow, and you have a unity in that. You're all family at that moment. And that's how this feels to me. When you talk to people and they're coming from different places, they know that you made a brave decision and moved across the country or wherever you came from to come here. They know that. They feel it. They know it wasn't easy. And we're all in this, and we're all looking for a better life, and we are making a better life. And that just is really exciting to me. It's sort of the very thing that everybody was looking for when they moved down. They brought it with them in that pursuit, and we share it with each other, and that makes things really special.
Yeah, and I found that. Like, I get out a lot into the community in real estate here, and I get to meet a lot of our neighbors, and I'm always asking, where are you from? It's one of the first things I ask, and it's always fun.
It's always a story.
Yeah, and the moment I say to them that we moved from Pennsylvania, everything just changes. Like, they know we're in this club together, and
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we've all made this move, and we've all, took some risk, went through an awful lot, changed our life, had to leave friends behind, just all of that for this journey that we're all on. And the interesting thing is that everybody's out and about. When we lived in Pennsylvania, I felt like we spent most of our time at home. You go to the grocery store, back to home. But everybody's out in the community, especially the community we're in, where there's so many walking trails and so many things to do, and amenity centers and gyms and pickleball courts and all those things that big master plan communities have. And it's just a lot of fun, and everybody treats you so wonderfully. And so, yes, when you said that, I felt that right away. Yeah, I'm like in this club, and when I meet people that have just moved in, I'm in this posture of, how can I help you? What do you need to know?
And they are too.
Yes.
So I was hoping I could convey that.
Yeah.
That's my one. What's your next one?
We can shop again for most things. I know this is kind of an interesting one. What do you mean about shopping, Ken? Well, at home in Pennsylvania, we started buying most of our things online, right? So you'd want something, you wouldn't think of just, going out to the store to pick it up because it's probably not there, or the one you want, or the color you want, or the size that you want. So you might go out, but more than likely you're shopping online to find it. When we came down here, I didn't even realize it, but we kind of slipped back in to, oh yeah, let's go out and we got to pick up a few things, and we're shopping for a few things, whether it's a kitchen gadget or, it's something for the home, or shopping for clothes or sneakers or whatever it is. It's all here. And I think that's the thing that was shocking to me, that everybody was here. Like, every store you could imagine.
That's actually true.
It's here. And at home, that wasn't true. You had a couple of the restaurant chains, and we lived in a pretty nice area in the Lehigh Valley, but it didn't have everything. We have everything from the largest Dillard's in America to Nordstrom's to Dick's Sporting Goods. And, and that was like a mall, 2 stories. I took a picture of it, we'll put up, but man.
I know what you're saying, because I remember my last shopping trip up north, and probably many of them, I always felt bad trying on the sneakers and then realizing they don't have the stock, having to go home and order them. But I felt bad for the salesperson all the time because they did the work and they weren't getting the sale because they just didn't have the stock. So it has been fun to be able to shop and get the item right there and be able to bring it home.
Yeah, and I think the restaurants, that's the other thing that goes along with, being able to go out. They're all here. So any chain you probably have at home, it's somewhere close that you could drive to it.
And then there's a lot of not chain, which I really enjoy.
There's a lot of not
the ones that you go
restaurants.
into and it's a surprise and they've got their own thing going on. I really enjoy that.
And everything is shiny and new.
That sort of leads me to my next one.
So what is your next one?
So my next one, and many of these are a surprise to me. I didn't really expect them until I noticed it happen. I didn't know. Clean landscapes in the area. So what I mean by that is definitely in the communities that you live in, you look around, it looks just beautiful and gorgeous and everything is well kept. But even driving on the road to the grocery store, to wherever you're going, you look around and you see everything is clean. It's clean to the edge of the road. It looks beautiful. And I'm surprised at how that affects me. And I don't think I noticed it till I left the area and went back up north a couple of times and came back. As I was driving back, I remember the thought in my head saying, I can't wait to get down where it's pretty again.
Yeah.
And I would have guessed it really didn't have an effect on me, but truly it does. And I kind of liken it to when you have clutter in your house and things are messy and you don't realize it, and then you clean it all up and you get rid of the clutter, and then that moment where you feel like, wow.
Feels great.
It feels so good. I feel free. I feel more creative. I feel happy. So that's like the outside version of that. And I love that.
I think that's one thing I fell in love with. We would just come down to visit or searching in the area to see where we were going to move. And just everything is just so green. Everything's so pretty. You can take a picture almost from every angle wherever you are down here. And it's a beautiful backdrop.
The likelihood is it's a great backdrop.
Yeah, no matter where it is. There's not a lot of heavy power lines all over the place. That's not how it is down here. Everything is planned. The communities are beautiful. Everything's well kept. And the highways was the thing that was most shocking to me. I never forget the trip. We had just moved down here, and then we had to go back up to Pennsylvania. And I remember we flew into Philadelphia, and then we grabbed a rental car because all of our stuff was now here, but yet we still, have a lot of business up there. I remember we got in the rental car and we were pulling out of the Philadelphia airport, and it hit me just how bad the roads were. And not that, I love the Northeast.
We love Philadelphia. We love Pennsylvania.
Yeah, but they really need to clean the trash off the roads and the highway around the Philly airport. Is unbelievable.
And the irony is, as you're driving and there's all the trash on the road, it's sign after sign telling you, don't litter. Here's the fine. Here's the entity that's cleaning up this portion of the road. And down here, I don't see any of those signs. They just simply pick up the litter.
They just take care of it.
And maybe people are not littering as much. That'd be great.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Wherever you're at, it's nice, it's picturesque, it's orderly.
It feels like a weight is off of you as a result of that.
Yeah. My number 3 is outdoors. And there's a lot that goes into the outdoors. So in Pennsylvania, it's not that we didn't go outdoors. In the summer, we would do a lot of walk in the subdivision. And we got to see our neighbors, and we loved them, and it was really nice.
And we had beautiful rolling hills.
Beautiful rolling hills of Pennsylvania, just gorgeous. But I can't say I spent a ton of time outdoors. I spent more time in the house or at the home. But here, I noticed that we spend so much time out. Like, we love our home, and we love, being there at night, and, we love cooking. But, man, we're out a lot. And I attribute that to the weather. Everybody talks about, it's too hot in Florida. Well, we're in Northeast Florida, and Northeast Florida is different. It is the South, and it is warm, but I kind of did this comparison all the time. So whenever it was really hot down here, you walk out the door and you feel that heat, right? I would always go to my phone and go to see what it was like in Pennsylvania. And a majority of the time, it was hotter. So if it was in the 90s here, it was in the 90s in Pennsylvania. And I thought, well, that's not supposed to be. But I guess in the summer, it happens a lot. So yes, you got 3 to 4 months of warm, but you have like 7 to 8 months of beautiful temperatures on your skin. It's such a fun thing.
And I met somebody when we first moved down here who warned me about the beautiful days. And it sounds funny when I say they warned me about it. She said, you're going to feel like every time you see a beautiful day, you have to run out and be outside and do things.
You do.
And she said, I found I was getting nothing else done because she was not used to having that many beautiful days.
That was our first couple months here.
Yes.
Hey, it's 3:00. Are we going to the beach today? Are we going to the pool?
So I think you end up spending more time because you're programmed, if it's beautiful, to get outside, and there's lots of beautiful.
Here's one of my favorite things that always happens to me. And I don't know why. It happens in the Publix parking lot. Publix is our local grocery store. Like, they seem to own most of this area and grocery stores, but they're just gorgeous, clean, wonderful, kind, amazing grocery stores down in Florida. If you haven't been to a Publix, they're so nice. But I don't know what it is. I go into Publix and everybody's so kind and nice, right? And you're talking to people, and if you're looking for something, they'll help you find it. And even the people that are your neighbors that are shopping, they're like, "Oh, what are you looking for?" "Oh, yeah, it's in the other aisle." Like, they're so kind, and you're talking to people and you're laughing and you get to check out and they're talking to you about everything. And then like they'll ask you, "Do you need any help taking this to your car?" And then I look at them like, "Do I look that old?" But the truth is they're just kind.
They do that for everybody.
They want to help you. They're just so kind.
We're just not used to that.
Yeah. So now when I go in, it's like I kind of know everybody at the Publix, and I feel really comfortable. And then I come out and I don't know what it is, but I hit the air. And whether it's hot or whether it's what it is, 8 months of the year, just beautiful, temperature on your skin, I just look up and I feel so thankful that I'm in Florida in this weather, because I feel so great. Just something about it. You walk outside, it affects you, and it's different. I can tell you it's very, very different. And the other thing that I'll say about this, I know I'm going long in mine, but our health. So since we've been here, we have lost some weight. We have gotten in better shape. I feel like we get less colds. We have a lot of vitamin D from the sun, right? We do a lot of exercising. Yesterday, we did an amazing walk, because there's a lot of trails to walk on in our community. And then there's a few that go right around these beautiful ponds and into the woods.
And we went to the historic area yesterday too, and did some walking through there too.
We went down to historic St. Augustine, which I think is 1567 it was founded. The cobblestone streets and all the historic buildings. And
that's beautiful. That's always beautiful.
The Night of Lights that's going on for Christmas down here is amazing. People come in from all over I want to say the country, but they come in from all over the world to come to St. Augustine. But just being outdoors, you do an awful lot of it. You're not in the house as much all year round. And people say, "Well, but it gets really hot." Say, "Oh yeah, that's beach and that's pool time." And, at our pool, at our amenity center, they have this beautiful walk-in area to the pool. And they got palm trees everywhere. It's just beautiful, overlooking this massive lake. Your lap pool's on this side. And then they have these chairs that sit a little lower, and you move them right into the water. So now we're sitting in the water, just relaxing, and people bringing in their lunch or pizzas.
They ordered their dinner to arrive at the tables there, so that they could sit on a Friday night at the end of the school day, that their kids get off the bus, go running down to the pool, and they have dinner there.
Yeah. The outdoors, living in Florida, you're out doing stuff 12 months out of the year. And in the hot months, you just happen to be in the pool, at the beach. There's just so much to do. And the beach is only 20 minutes away. Okay, so that's outdoors. What's your next one?
Okay, so this is not a really long one, and it's not actually about the beach. It's about having access to the beach.
Okay.
So I think if you have always grown up with access to the beach, you may not understand how refreshing it is to know that you can just go there. So having lived in a landlocked state for a number of years, I really appreciate knowing that in 20 minutes, we could have our beach chairs sitting on the sand.
Sitting on the sand, yeah.
On the end of a great day, we could go and sit and debrief the day. At the end of a tough day, you could go and put your beach chair on the sand, and it helps you put things in perspective. It's not a project. I don't have to plan a week in advance. I can plan in 5 minutes. And just knowing I can do that and get to the beach, that's just something really special for me.
Yeah, and the statistics are that 10% of Floridians live within 10 miles of the coast. So that's
I guess
amazing
that's the
statistic.
nature of the shape of the state.
It is, and that people congregate more towards...
There's a lot of agriculture through the middle, so most people are in the band that runs around the state.
Yeah, and whether it's 10 miles or 15 miles or 20 miles, it's all good.
Yeah.
Because you can. And one of the things with our beaches down here, Jacksonville area, which is right above us, Northeast Florida, St. Augustine, and then it goes down to Daytona and New Smyrna area. But those areas right there are the only areas where you can take your four-wheel drive right on the beach. Like, you just pull up and drive right on the beach, and they've got things coned off so you're not driving down on the beach. But the beaches here can be like 100 yards long, to the water. So there's a lot of room on these beaches. And the sand is packed a little bit tighter, I guess, which is why they've always done
But
it.
it's tight enough for four-wheel drives.
Four-wheel drive, yeah. I wouldn't just take a rear-wheel drive on it. But four-wheel drives are allowed to go on the beach down here. And they have areas where you can go in, and then there's parts of the beaches where you can't drive on it. But it's really wonderful. And so many people down here have Jeeps or have pickup trucks or any four-wheel drive vehicle that they have. And that's just how their family goes to the beach. And it's just pack the cooler, grab our sand chairs, stick them in the back of the Jeep. And in, 20 minutes, we're just sitting there relaxing on the beach. And it's pristine. White sands, beautiful blue water. And the wildlife is amazing. The breeze is always beautiful. The sun is great. And that's all part of that coastal living here we have in Florida.
And I remember people always up north using the Appalachian Trail as a project that they'd go up and they'd hike a couple miles, mark down where they went, and the next time they'd pick up from there and hike a few more so that at the end of, a year or several years, they will have done either a big leg of it or all of it.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do at the beaches. I want to start working our way north and south and cover all of the mileage on the beach. Obviously, we can't drive on all of it, but walking on it's pretty awesome.
But there's still a bunch we can drive on. We haven't been down towards Daytona, or we've been to New Smyrna, but we haven't driven on that
And we
beach.
really have only scratched the surface of Ponte Vedra.
Yeah. And Volano Beach, they have this area where it's like the peninsula, and it's down by the inlet where it comes into downtown St. Augustine. And all of the Jeeps and everything comes in. It's like a major family affair on the weekends. Everybody pulls in and sets up their beach chairs, and people go there and they all know one
people
another.
have that figured out like a science.
Yeah.
We were amateurs.
First time.
I think we're still amateurs at that. We have a lot to learn. They've got it all figured out. They've got the food figured out, the ice, everything they need.
And it's fun. It's all part of the community down here. It's part of that coastal living. So one of my favorite things is planned communities. So this is kind of an interesting one. In Pennsylvania, and we've been in real estate for like 30 years, and in Pennsylvania, a planned community, to me, said there was probably like a little amenity center, a place where you can maybe have a party or something. A few of them might have a pool that could be used by the community, but that's pretty much what we had in Pennsylvania. And I know in a lot of other areas of the country, it's planned community, what I'm going to talk about. But that's really interesting to me that when we got down here, I started noticing that, planned community is something different. Because planned community not only means that there's homes that are built and everybody lives in community, there's different models of homes and different price ranges of homes, but it also means there's these large amenity centers, and they have amazing pools. Some have lap pools. Most of them all have gyms. Some have big like water parks built into them. Just wonderful. Some of them even have a restaurant, but then they've also built something like golf cart lanes.
Yeah.
And walking and biking lanes. And so a lot of people do golf cart living. They come home from work, they get on their golf cart, let's go to the grocery store, or let's go down, I'll get my hair cut, or we're going to do a little shopping or go around the community center.
For my first doctor appointment, I pulled up and I'm looking at these spots and I'm like, I can't fit my car in there.
It's a golf cart
And
spot.
I looked up, I'm like, oh, wait, this is the golf cart parking area.
So there's a lot of that. And then you take it one step further. They put in their own hospital for that community. And right now we have this community called Silverleaf, and they have a hospital being built right there. They have the largest Publix in Florida being built right in Silverleaf. And they put in restaurants and retail, and then they build their own schools. So like your kids go to the school in your planned community. Such a beautiful thing. And your bus picks them right up, and it's just amazing. So you're talking about schools, you're talking about medical care, hospitals, everything, restaurants,
It's how you would build it if you had the land before anything else was built,
Right.
which is a unique situation down here because they do.
They do.
So you don't end up with just an area that becomes all of the commercial entities and institutions. And as a result of it, the area around there becomes a little less desirable because it's all next to the shopping. That doesn't happen.
Right.
It ends up being just one beautiful community that accommodates most of the daily needs of the people who live there. And then it blends into the next community.
Yeah. It's
very purposeful the way it's done.
It is a very, very different thing down here. And so planned communities are one of the reasons that we moved here. We wanted to live in a planned community. We wanted to have beautiful pools and amenity centers. We wanted to be outdoors. We just wanted to have that community feeling. And I still have my own golf cart at some point.
I know you do.
So I would love to do that.
So I would try to say to somebody who hears planned community and they think to themselves HOA and the type of HOA problems people talk about.
Yeah.
I don't think we're in the same league as that. This is on a bigger level and it takes care of all of the community.
This is big,
It's not like the community with the HOA that's just yelling at everybody about their shutters.
No.
So take that off the table and look at it with fresh eyes if you're coming down to look around. Don't rule out a community. However, if a community lifestyle is not for you, there's certainly a lot of opportunity for individual houses outside of communities also, and they are lovely too.
They really are. And there's this one community down here, I think there's one in Texas too, that we saw when we first came down. We absolutely fell in love with it. It has like a swim-up bar, there's music playing, there's a restaurant, they have their gym.
Paddleboarding out there.
It's like you're at the beach. They call it Beach Walk, but it's 14 acres of a pool. And the houses are all situated around it. And some houses have direct access. So they just come out the back of their house. They sit in a nice beach chair or go up and get themselves something from the restaurant or the bar. There's that here too. And so planned communities are just something that's absolutely amazing and definitely made my top list here. Now, do you have any more?
I have one more. The level of professionalism that I see people show in the different roles that they have, whether it's at a medical office or at a grocery store, your HVAC repairman, even down to the person who hands you your food through the window at Burger King. The level of professionalism in the job is just amazing. I haven't seen it in so long. It took me by surprise. And it takes me by surprise more so in the level of Burger King because I haven't seen anybody really with great enthusiasm hand you the food. And you could just tell that, I think he even said, I made sure this was cooked right myself.
Yeah.
It's just so surprising and such a joy.
And how about that Whataburger experience we had? Like we had a very complicated order. And
I think we had 21 things. We had a big group.
I'm like, there's no way that this order is going to come out right. You know when you're at the drive-thru and somebody wants this, they don't want that on it or whatever. And she was so quick and efficient as she went through it. And she says, yep, I got it. And I said, are you sure? No, I got it, she says. And then when we get up to the window, she hands everything out. She goes, oh, yeah, you can check it if you want, but it is exactly what you said. And she was
We drove away from there going, where do they hire these people
from? Where do they
from?
get these people at Whataburger down here?
But that we were new then, so we didn't realize that pretty much everybody was showing that level of professionalism.
Everything was perfect and very proficient at what they're doing.
They really take whatever they're doing very seriously.
Yeah.
And when you ask a question, it doesn't feel like it's a bother. They will stop and really make sure that they have served what's important to you or explained it. It's just been really nice and very surprising.
And we find that a lot down here. There's a lot of care to service. There's a lot of care to kindness, which is my last one. I've heard this from a lot of people, and I do go through the community and I meet a lot of people. And within our conversation, they always talk about the Southern hospitality. And like you say, well, you're in Florida, but you are in the South. And when you look at Northeast Florida on the map, we're right below Georgia and South Carolina. And so that whole Southern charm and kindness, the kids down here, if I'm talking to any of the kids down at the community center at the pool, it's yes, sir, no, sir. I'm like, these kids are calling me sir. What's going on with that? But they're so kind. Everybody's so nice down here. It is different, way different. It's not that people love you less where we came from in Pennsylvania.
They just love you differently.
They just love you differently. Yes. And if you're in New York where you grew up, they love you a lot differently,
Yes.
but they all love you. So it's...
And we know how that works.
Yeah.
But another person I met when we first moved down here, they had moved further south in Florida, and I can't really speak to it. I can only tell you
Right.
what she said. She said that the southern hospitality in Florida is in the northern part of Florida, closer to Georgia, closer to
Yeah.
Alabama, and probably extends just above Orlando. And then it becomes a different version of hospitality, and it's a little different than the southern experience.
Yeah.
So we'll have to test that out, but that's what she told me.
Maybe because we still have some Floridians in the area.
Enough.
Floridians
And then
in
the
the
people
area.
who came down liked it so much, they
Right.
gravitated to it.
And there are a lot of people that have come from Georgia and South Carolina, North Carolina,
That's
Virginia,
true.
that are here as well. But it is a real melting pot of everybody across the country coming into Florida. And I think we all kind of pick it up, this kindness from everybody. And then you change. Over time, I just changed.
You soften.
Yeah, I soften. I did. I'm
You don't
soft.
brace for impact in a conversation.
No. And I'm not trying to protect myself either. Like, I'm out there. I'm not trying to not talk to people. I'm not looking down at the ground. I'm looking to engage, and everybody's kind and nice. It's just different. Okay, so that was our 5 things that we love about living in Florida. So let us know your thoughts. Reach out, comment, DM us, or go to destinationbetterlife.com, and we'll look forward to seeing you on our next one.
See you next time.